If you liked framed florals, you are going to love this set from Hunkydory and what Heidi has done with it. In fact, let me just give you one example. As I open this, that spinner card is perfectly done with these. So please come play with us. Well, let me tell you just a little bit about the Frame Florals Aperture card kit. That will make 8 cards at least, and they're going to be in 2 different sizes, plus the envelopes are included. So you can get this size, and this will fold in half. So in fact, it's going to look like this. And you will also get this size that is more of a 5-inch square. So again, you're going to get envelopes. And you're going to get 2 sheets like this, and also the pieces that are like this, as I showed you. So I'm going to show you the 4 that Heidi has done, and then I'll show you the ones that she did not use, so you get the full scope of everything. So you're going to take, in this case, you're going to take this one, and you're going to pop this piece out. It's going to get used on the inside, and what you will have is an aperture card, which is the title of it, meaning that there is an evacuated frame in the center of it. So then what Heidi has done is she has taken, in this case, in fact, she has used vellum throughout the cards, and you can see this vellum sheet on the inside, how pretty. But in also doing that, so this is the dot vellum, she also glued the topper to it. So let me just pull in a little piece of that dot vellum. And then she took off of this sheet the outside piece. She didn't use the gold piece, but then she used this one. And so she simply glued them to the dotted vellum. Now the dotted vellum is white dots on top of vellum. And let me open this up. You can kind of see that. They're right in there. And she did edge that frame with gold thin line dazzles. And as I have said, after a customer told me that she thinks of these as tiny but mighty, I think that's great because I think it's true. So she did edge those, as you can see. And then she put the vellum, and you can see it's going to span both sides. So she did foam tape that in place. And then because Heidi, this is her go-to for making bows, is Hunkydory's Bow Maker. And she used the light pink collection. You can see the crepe ribbon in there is what she used right there. Now, she did use the flowers. And I'm sorry to say at this moment we are out of stock, but they will show in the materials list. If you want them, just click on it, leave your email. We'll let you know the moment they arrive. So my apologies for that. And she did use the Hunkydory pearls. These are the white pearls. You can see they come in 3 different sizes, and she used those on the corners. And it's kind of nice because they mirror the little pearl that's on the flowers. So that's nice. Now, sending birthday wishes, that is down here on the sheet. So she has foam taped that in place. Then she cut 2 pieces. She cut the dotted vellum into 5 3/4 by 6 3/4. Okay. Then she scored at the 1/2 inch mark just to get that ready. Then she took a piece out of the Fairy Garden 12 by 12 pattern cardstock, and doesn't that just do a beautiful job of going with the flowers? So that's nice to know. She cut that to be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, which is the size of the card. And then that folded back area, she put the extra sticky tape, this is the 1/4 inch, onto it and folded it and attached it behind this patterned paper, and then glued the whole thing to the inside of her card. So that way, when you open this up, you're going to see the vellum, but then you just it has an elegant look, don't you think? Now this is the flower that you removed from the card right there. More of the thin line dazzles around it. There you go, you can see that. And don't the dazzles do a nice job of echoing the foiling that Hunkydory does? And the little From Me to You, that's been foam taped on top. One of the pearls and a little of the bows. I think the bow looks really sweet there. It's a very soft gingham, also out of that light pink set. So you have a card that looks like it is super expensive, but you did it out of a kit. Clever, clever you. Okay, let me show you the next one. This too is a tall card. And this is the spinner card that I showed you. And I have to say, I haven't seen one of those in a while, and that is very fun to have. I guess I should have wound it up again. Okay, you do need fishing line or some, you can use very strong thread that will go between these two die cuts. And so there you go. You get the look of that again. Okay, so this, you are also going to have a card, and the card looks like this before it's decorated. Now, on this case, here is this piece that you're going to pull out, but on this sheet, remember we used this one? Well, here is another one, same size, clever, and clever that Heidi figured that out. And you're going to use extra sticky tape again, the same 1/4 inch, and apply that in the center, because then you're going to take a piece of thread, fishing line, whatever you want to use. It's going to be about 7 inches long because you want it longer than the card. And you're going to lay the extra sticky tape on the die cut and then place the fishing line on top of it and just hold it really tight. Make sure it's just very straight. And then you can put more extra sticky tape and sandwich that between the two die cuts. Very nice. And then you're going to attach it to the card front again with extra sticky tape, and it's going to get covered up by these foiled fancies. So that's going to work nicely. Now the foiled fancies are used exactly as they come from the package. This is the Floral Fantasy, and you can see that these, I'll turn it so you can see, that has been used on each side. You can just trim these apart because they are paper, even though they look like metal, don't they? And then those are foam taped over your fishing line. So that's going to hold everything together. Now, because this comes from the same sheet that we did the first card, you've got more greetings, and they are going to get glued flat. Probably extra sticky tape would be better just for you. And then this one is just to say. Then also those same flowers that we used on the first card that are not in stock, they are also used here, and the same pearls. So that's nice that Heidi did that. So you've got this wonderful spinner. And then on the inside, Heidi has gone back to the dotted vellum. Well, but first, she covered it with a paper. Okay, and this is coming from the Seascapes and Sand solid cardstock. And it is that light tan. So she simply covered the inside of her card with that tan Seascapes and Sand paper. And this is the outer edge of this one that you used on the front. So it's the one with the print in it. And she didn't use the gold ones. So you're gonna have some gold ones left, which is kind of fun. Now she did use some dazzles in here. And these are the tiny words and phrases. And you can see that this comes in black, white, gold, and silver. And she's placed them on strips of vellum. So she just did a big piece of vellum, or a length of vellum, and put her dazzles on them, and then just tore it top and bottom, and tore it between the green. So just because you're the best for you. These butterflies are from the Foiled Fancies, And that bow is from the Ivory ribbon set. There you go, and there it is inside. So very, actually the Seascapes in Sand is a really good greeting because it's the tans and the blues in lots of different shades. So that's pretty. And again, you get the envelopes, so that's nice. Now, I did say that there is a second size that you get, and it looks like this. So it is a more, I think it's about 4 3/4 inches square, okay? And with that, Heidi has done something very clever, I think. Well, she often does something clever. So here is the piece. And you'll notice this time she left this one intact. However, she did something else. This has become an easel card, just like that. Now, what did she do? Well, she carefully pulled out the layers from the top of it. So probably the first thing you want to do is take your scoreboard and place this so that you can do a score here and here. Do not do the middle area, but just each of the edges. Then that will give you the line that you need to pop this out. So keep it all together. And in order to really make sure it's together, Heidi took one more step. You can see on the back, she has placed solid cardstock on the back. So the way you do that, I can show you what she used. She used the Songbird solid cardstock, and she simply put glue here and here and glued a sheet to it. So just 4 3/4 inch sheet. So glued the bottom of it and then pop this up like so and trimmed along that edge. So that way you've got it really sturdy, and then you can glue it down, okay? So take the square, put glue here, take it, pop this out, and then trim it, and then lift the paper back and glue it down. So that's going to be super solid, so that when it is opened, nothing's going to, separate. So that works very nicely. It's very, very clever. I hadn't ever seen that. Now, the Just a Note, that has been foam taped on top. More of the pearls. It's kind of nice. So she's used those through now 3 of the cards. Now, this bow made with the bow maker is from the crepe ribbon set. And I have to say, I think the crepe just makes the most beautiful bows, and they don't get squished. I mean, you can pound that sucker and it's going to just pop right back up. It's very nice. On the inside of her card, and the reason that she used the solid cardstock from Songbirds is because look at that paper. It's got the music, it's got the bird, and she's really used that very effectively, I think, on the inside. And that comes from the Songbirds 12 by 12 pattern cardstock. And she did cover the inside of her card with the solid, and then trimmed this piece out. All of the measurements are down below in the instructions. To my friend, Fly Like a Bird, that's part of the Songbirds die cuts. So this very useful set. You want to foam tape those in place, of course. She's got 2 more pearls and just a knotted of the crepe ribbon, so that when this gets opened, that has a place to rest. You can rest it there. You could rest it there if you wanted to. It doesn't quite get the height, but you've got 2 options there. And you can see my red top reflected in that foiling. So that is the second size. Okay, I've got one more card for you. And again, envelopes come with it. This is, again, the larger one. But in this case, what Heidi has done is she has done it on our 5 by 6.5 inch cards, okay? And she has done using the, let's see, let me pull this out so you can see. Here is the other sheet. Oop. So here's the other sheet that she's going to use. And in this case, she's also going to use Lilacs in Bloom, solid cardstock, and Lilacs in Bloom 12 by 12 patterned. Let me show you what she's going to do. To begin with, she has taken this piece of Lilacs in Bloom, so it's this sheet, ignore that for a moment please, and use the back of it and cut a piece and then matted it on our gold metallic paper, which will not be wrinkled like this. Yours will be perfectly solid and not wrinkled. And she has glued that to the front of her card. Okay, so you can see that. There you go. So that's the starting point. Then, and the reason why I have removed a piece, she cut two pieces that are, I think they're 4.5 by 6. Again, it's down below. And she also cut that out of the vellum. Now, whoops, here it is. There's the piece. So those two pieces. And you see what she's done. It's kind of distressed. So she did bring in the craft mat and those two pieces, and she tore the right hand edge. Okay, so just gonna tear that. And when you're tearing an edge that narrow, you're gonna end up like this. You're gonna get, okay, so that, and going to tear the right edge of this. So we're going to let the border stay, and then we're going to tear this edge. So you can do that. And then she brought in the wild honey, warm honey, not wild, warm honey, and has edged these with that wild honey and, of course, her blender brush. So just bringing that on, and it's not going to be a dramatic edge like if we had taken purple, but she's just done a little bit along both of them, and then she distressed them even further, so by wrinkling them and turning them over and folding them. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that just so that you can see. But she didn't want that to be totally white, so she went back and just added more of the warm honey. And she did the same thing on the vellum, just a little bit. And again, to get more of the honey in there. Okay, so you've got the whole process. Then these two pieces were overlapped and glued to her card front. So you can do that however you choose. It looks like she's done them just about like that. So it gives you some texture, and it really plays nicely with the purples that are in the artwork. So in fact, you can use this in lots of places. Good technique. So this piece well, actually both pieces come from this. So this piece, and she did something interesting. She did, so there are 3 layers. So there's a center one, a silver edge, gold edge, and then the patterned edge. So she took the last 2 and glued them straight down. And then she did a double layer of foam tape on the center one. So just to get it some oomph. Then this one comes from right here. So it's going to be glued flat here, and it's going to have some foam tape underneath it. So that's going to work nicely. Now, she also, again, this sheet, like the first one, has these greetings. So she has used some of them. And if you know Heidi's work, you know she loves bowing things. So you can put a zot on each end and kind of lift that center, and that will work nicely. Here is another one that's kind of going off the edge. That works well. This is using the purple ribbon, and it too has a crepe ribbon right there. And then she added some dazzles. These are the jewel dazzles. So they're the teeny tiny ones. She used the purple ones here, here, and here, and the gold she used on the butterfly. So just really nice. Okay, let's see what she's done on the inside. And the inside has this area. Remember this sheet? Well, this area has what she has covered or has used on the inside. So first she covered it with that gold paper that's nice and pressed and not wrinkly. And then she cut a slightly smaller piece of this area. So she's really using this sheet. And then she cut a strip of the back side of it. And she did tear one edge. She did the same thing with the warm honey ink pad and the blender brush. And then she glued it. It's about an inch from the fold. And then this is about, 3/4 of an inch or so up from the bottom, just to layer those colors. Works really, really nicely. And this comes from one of those other cards. In fact, it's not that one. Well, it's there. Okay, so, and then she has done the same thing that she did with the first card, is that she glued these to the dotted vellum and then foam taped the center one. Here's a little greeting. She used the purple ribbons to make a bow. And then this has got the jewel dazzles around it also. So lots of distressing and inking and layering going into this lovely card. So she's kind of gone from very simple and given you just a variety of looks. Now, I told you, you've seen some of the cards that are included, but I wanted to show you the others. So this one is included that she did not use, and this, and this, and this. Now, that takes care of all the things that Heidi has done. So I think you can see the frame florals are not only just beautiful, but they're very versatile. At least with Heidi's help, they are. And in the Money Saver, we have given you a set of vellums. So there are 3 styles. There's the vellum that has swirls, the vellum that has dots, as you have seen, and then the vellum that has hearts and dots. So that way you get 3 of each, which is more than enough to do some creative designing. So I hope you're going to have fun. Heidi, you have done just an excellent job. And as I stated, down below each of the cards, you can click on it, you will see the instructions, you can print those out if you like, and they are there for you, as well as the materials that she has used. I mentioned the Money Saver. It's on the right side of the screen. It will give you the kit as well as that selection of all the vellums, which I know you will put to good use, and just want to give you a Money Saver along with it. And those of you who watch on YouTube, if you will please like us, subscribe, tell me what you think. I think Hunkydory and Heidi have been a great team for this webisode. Then head on over to paperwishes.com. You can take advantage of that Money Saver, look at the instructions, see what you think, and join us. And I want to thank Heidi for doing a fabulous job. Most of all, I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.